We're down here in the oyster hatchery trying to get a volitional spawn from our broodstock. Right now they're in a cold cycle, and then we're about to up the temperature on them, and hopefully that causes a volitional release of gametes. Males and females will pump their stuff into the water, and that'll give us some oyster babies. So for a volitional spawn, that is when they voluntarily release their gametes into the water. Their gametes are the males and females, eggs and sperm that will come together to fertilize the egg and give us tiny oyster larvae. So for the oysters in the containers, sometimes you'll see them start to open and close. We call this pumping. Most likely right now, these guys are just irrigating their gills and getting more oxygen to their breathing structures. But this is actually also how females will release their eggs into the water. So as they start opening and closing, they'll start puffing out eggs in a big cloud. Alright, we're about to switch over, guys.
Just turn it all on?
Yeah, if you'll unplug that one for me. Louis, if you'll switch that pump from the hot to the cold tank.
Gotcha.
Alright, go ahead and turn it back on.
So this is our second warm cycle. So usually this warm water is going to trigger our oysters to send up egg or sperm. So we're going to watch really closely to see if they are male or female. With the oysters, usually you can tell by the males having a constant stream of sperm. You can see it come up and it's just constantly supplying and clouding the water. And with the females, they take both of their shells and clap together, releasing eggs as they clap. And so you can see the females pumping and the males just kind of staying there with a constant stream. Yay! We have our first oyster spawn. As you can see here, there is a constant stream of sperm off the side of his cup. And so that means he's a male. We checked it under the microscope just to make sure that it's sperm instead of egg. We turned off the water flow for him as well, so we can keep all of the sperm in one container, and then later we'll mix the sperm with egg once we get a female to make some larvae.
So we've got some really stubborn oysters on our hands. So what we're going to do is we're actually using a little bit of sperm that we've put in the microwave to hormonally stimulate these animals. So we're going to take the pipette and we're going to squirt a little sperm into each of the oyster's bills, and that's going to be a stimulus and a message to all these other oysters that says, hey, there's other gametes in the water, you should also release yours. So fingers crossed, and we'll see if it works. So the sperm that we just got is actually from our first volitional spawner. So he was a really good little male and released his sperm into the water voluntarily, and that's where we're going. That's the sperm we're going to use in order to hormonally stimulate the other ones.
Got a female to spawn by using our hormonal cues, using sperm from this male right here, microwaving it so we don't fertilize these eggs, and introducing it to this female, which now you can see she just clapped for us, and all of the eggs will be suspended, hydrate for about 30 minutes, and we can mix the egg and sperm together to make our larvae.
Hormonal stimulation, and then, like I said, we'll probably do at least one more round with everybody.
So now that we have a female and a couple males that spawn, we're going to see if we can get some more females to spawn, but that's basically the end of our day. We had a successful spawn today. We'll mix these egg and sperm together to make some larvae and stock them in our larval tanks. Our larval tanks will be in use for about 10 to 12 days while these larvae grow and develop. And then after that, we will set them on shell and release them out into the bay as part of the Apalachicola Bay System Initiative to restore our oysters here.